Hello Aries, great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Aries. It seems to me like there's some emotional hang-ups many of you are dealing with. And I'm feeling like you're finding other avenues, other things to keep your hands busy, to keep your mind busy, to keep your body occupied so that you're not thinking about, relationship problems. That's what it feels like to me. It also seems to me as if, you're moving, physically moving stuff from one house to the next. So moving out, turning your back and moving out in a situation, coming back to an ex to retrieve your stuff, and then, slithering away. That's what I'm feeling as well. I feel multiple trips taken back and forth between two different housing situations as well. And I'm also feeling inventory, a lot of stock, a lot of inventory for those of you who are self-employed or, have a home-based business. Or even, I feel like you have a lot of either binders, samples. I'm also seeing like magazines or rulers. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that you're moving from your old office to your new office. So I feel like there's a big moving energy as it relates to your relationship sector. For some of you, I mentioned before, you're a very, spirited sign. And a lot of the times in relationships, you're just like, let's do this, let's do that. And then you tend to attract partners who are a little bit more laid back. And then you find yourself at the end of it doing all the work. You thought of the idea, and then the other person is just going for the ride. They assume you're going to do all the work, and then you end up doing all the work, and then you become resentful. I want you to be very aware of that, okay? So the way that you want to phrase it next time to your partner is, I want to do this. Do you want to do it with me? And I need help. Can you help me? Use language that is a little bit more inclusive, okay? That way your partner can meet you halfway, and that way you don't end up feeling resentful because you are doing all the work. So a lot of the times language, the way we communicate, the words that we use, the word choice matters a lot because we need to communicate with the other person on the level that they can understand. So if you were to just say like, I want to have a barbecue, let's have a barbecue this Saturday, your partner's going to say, sure. And then your partner feels like, oh, he or she, the Aries, wants the barbecue. So I guess, they're going to have a barbecue. And so they don't feel like they need to chip in. They don't feel like they need to work out the logistics. Whereas you thought, oh, we're in a relationship. We're supposed to be doing these things together. So don't assume. And also break things down for your partner, okay? Communication is so important, okay? And I feel like this is something you're doing that you might not be aware of. And then you end up bearing the brunt of the work in that relationship over and over and over and over again. And then, there is that sense of resentment coming in, okay? So be careful about that. So we have a marriage situation here. I pulled out an extra card for you guys, mainly because I wanted to see what direction you're headed. So first of all, we have a marriage situation here. This is like a relationship where there is an official marriage contract, where there is like a combining of family, combining of assets, having joint bank accounts. The Hierophant is an institution card. It's an institution in relationship reading. It's an institution of marriage. It's a family institution. You have somebody in your life that you are kind of legally bound to. And you might also have joint bank accounts. You might have joined your assets together. Your family might know, your family members might know the person, might spend a lot of time with the person. You likewise might also spend a lot of time with the other person's family. So I feel like there is a very thorough and whole combining of people, combining of assets, combining of, it's like a really solid institution. I feel that it's no longer serving you at this point, because we have here the Two of Wands is shown up again. This is a situation where we feel like something is holding us back. We feel like it's too restrictive, or we feel like it's really hampering our freedom, our independence, and it's too rigid, it's too structured, and you're not comfortable being in it because you feel as if your freedom of expression, your freedom of movement is greatly limited. When it shows up in the reverse position, it can also indicate to me kind of like two people who are kind of taking a break from each other, or two people who are kind of at a distance from each other, long distance relationship, or emotionally estranged from one another, living in, it's like you're still legally married, but you're living in different houses. You're coming back to see each other, but I feel like emotionally there's a huge sense of estrangement, because the relationship itself, it seems like it's for show, or it's done for show, and it's very rigid. It's not it's not conducive for love and, emotions. What I also have as well is the Prince of Wands, and this is your energy here. This is somebody who's very passionate. This is somebody who really, really cares for their partner. When they see their partner sad, they want to do something to make their partners happy. It's like somebody who's capable of great sacrifices. Somebody who charges in and rights a situation. When it's in the reverse position, I just feel like you're turning your back. You're no longer talking to somebody. Somebody is like trying to reel you back in, or somebody is telling you, I really miss you, I really want to see you again, can we reconvene, can we reconcile, can we get together, because we've had all these things that we've spent time on building up over the years. We have this long history, we even have this family, or we even have this marriage contract, and you're not hearing it. I feel like you're definitely turning your back, and you're definitely storming away, okay? What's coming into the picture here? We have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands basically says that you've already made up your mind, you've already resigned yourself to the fact that you're not happy here, it's too restrictive, or you're not happy with this person for whatever reason. Mainly because I do feel like, yes, the relationship was stable. It provided everything that you could want and ever need. And it provided that, stable relationship partner even. But if you look at this person, center stage, there's a lack of satisfaction. There's this yearning for, is this it? Or is there more to it? I'm kind of bored with this prosperity. I want something a little bit new. I want something a little bit more exciting. I want something a little bit more, a little bit different. And I also feel like a big part of you know as well that if ever you're single, there will be a lot of suitors at your door, because you're a very popular sign. You know how to strike up conversation. You're very dashing and charming. And I feel like you're quite popular. You could be a female and you have a lot of male friends. You have a lot of female friends. So your social environment is very diverse. It's also very robust. And you have, a lot of acquaintances. And so this is a card that indicates as well, you know what you're worth. And I do feel a big part of you guys, you're yearning for a relationship that where it's not just a passionate love affair. You want a friend. You want somebody to do things with. You want somebody to kind of like be on your level. And you want somebody to be out and about with you, where you both can be seen and heard. And so you're asking a lot from a relationship. But what I feel is, if you've already resigned yourself that this situation, it's stagnant, it's not going to work for me, and you're not just escaping it out of on a whim. You've thought long and hard about the situation, and you're wondering it's not going to work, or you're telling yourself it's not going to work. You've already resigned yourself to that decision. So This is a really good month, I feel, to kind of slow down and to really think about our partners and their emotional needs. If you're in a relationship that is like this, stable but kind of boring, and you're looking for something new, you want to ask yourself, do I still love this person? Is this person also sacrificing other aspects of themselves in order to be in a relationship with me? Because a lot of the times, when we feel like, oh, I've had enough, we only look at things from our point of view, and we don't really put ourselves in our partner's shoes to understand, like, is my partner also out of, like, foregoing some of their own interests in order to cater to this relationship. So learning to kind of like switch the scenario around and seeing things from your partner's point of view, it's going to be very enlightening for you guys. And then you can make a decision moving forward. Is it worth staying in? Is it done and over with? Is it just going to be stale and stagnant and I need to move out? Because I feel like some of you are looking for excitement. Okay. So let me see if this is a partner or if this is your energy. Okay. So let me talk about this. We have here, this is like a sore spot. This is something that hasn't healed. This is like heartache that we're still clinging onto, that still deeply affects us. It still tugs at our heartstrings every once in a while. And it's still something that is very new and very, very, very raw. And I'm sensing, at the beginning, I feel like some of you are keeping yourself very, very distracted because you don't want to deal with some emotional problems. You don't want to deal with something. You don't want your thoughts to get away from you. If you find yourself kind of idle, you start thinking about it. And then this wave of emotion overcomes you. And you don't want to be like that because, deep down, you're very proud. You're proud of being stoic. You're proud of being able to take care of yourself. And like an Aquarius too, you tend to downplay the emotional side of things. So, there's this face that you show to the world. Everything is okay. I've got everything under control. I've got people that I love, that I'm taking care of. I'm abundant. I have a really good job. I'm making very, very good money. I have, enough financial resources to support a very lavish lifestyle. I'm okay. But then deep down, I feel like that's the facade. Whatever is going on underneath this is painful separation, having to leave a situation, mainly because there was a lot of guilt for whatever reason. There was a lot of deception. There was a situation where we felt like the other person just didn't know how to take care of themselves. This card deals with depression. Okay, it's in the reverse position, so I feel like it's not that dire, it's not that bad. But if you're surrounded by swords like this, I feel like you have an unanswered question. You're trying to dig at the truth. You're trying to pry at the truth. And it's kind of weird because with this same card came out for the Piscean people. You might be dealing with a Pisces. And then I pulled out, this card that came up earlier, the King of Cups. This is somebody that might be the cause of it. This is somebody who might be very deceptive. This is somebody that is, I want to say, calculating and cunning. Usually the kings and queens, they're kind of a lot more, they're supposed to be a lot more emotionally evolved, ethically evolved. But when they consciously choose to make wrong decisions, it's very orchestrated. It's very methodical. And a lot of the times I feel like, they know exactly what they're doing. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody that is a little bit on the vindictive side and possibly manipulative as well. So this is somebody that you're thinking about heavily, and I feel like it's really affecting your day-to-day operations. You do put on a brave face. You do want to show the world that, I've got it together, but I feel like I don't feel there's any regrets from your end. You've overcome the grief. You've already done that, that whole self-talk about Yes, it did happen. I've accepted it. And now you're just dealing with the thoughts of, what could have been, how could this person do this? And I feel like there's still some unanswered questions from your end. I feel like you still have questions. You still want answers, but I feel like you're still very proud. You don't want to approach them and dig for answers. I feel like you're turning your back and you're taking care of yourself. So let me see here. So we have here the devil. You have a lot of major arcana cards coming out, by the way. We have the devil, and the devil is basically somebody that might have been, addicted to things. They might have had unhealthy obsessions, unhealthy addictions, or you were stuck in a relationship where it was not healthy, okay? It was very restrictive. There were power struggles. There were control issues. There might have been lies and deception as well, and you don't really know what to believe. And at the heart of it, I feel like some of you, this is something that I feel a lot with fire signs, especially if you have like a moon in a fire sign. You want a relationship that is very, very dynamic. So like something that's too stable and too safe, you might consider it to be very, very boring. So you want a relationship where you're like different from your partner, so that it's a lot more dynamic, so that it's a lot more interesting. But with this sense of incompatibility, it can also create a situation where it's very tumultuous, where it can feel like you're talking over each other. So the chemistry is great, the attraction is very strong, but there is like very little common ground that you both can kind of stand on and meet each other halfway. So I feel like you were definitely coming to the point, to the realization you were with somebody that's not good for you. You were in a relationship where the other person, I just feel like they didn't have the same goals, okay? And so this is kind of moving out, breaking away from this bondage situation, moving out, moving homes, moving all your stuff from your ex's house into your new house, moving all of your physical things and having to do it alone. And I also feel some of you, it's kind of like feeling very alone in our struggle, wanting to move away to a new relationship as well. So I feel like don't rush this process, okay? If you need to heal, take the time to heal, make yourself better. Don't rush the process of dating or, distracting yourself with work so that you can forget something that happened in the past, or you can forget an ex, or you can get over a sudden heartbreak. I feel like it's really important for you to take the time to mourn, to heal, and then, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, because beating yourself up at a time like this is not going to solve anything, okay? What is your advice for Aries for this month? In terms of the advice, let me talk about this. So the Ace of Cups this is something that's God-given. It's something that's coming to you from your external environment. It has a lot of potential for growth. And the nature of the water sign, the cup's energy, is that we have to nurture it. If it shows up in the reverse position, it's somebody coming in empty-handed. It's like they don't even love themselves. So if they don't even have that sense of self-love, they can't really be in a relationship with anybody, because they're not going to know how to properly love another person. Okay? I feel like you have some unanswered questions. You have things that you want to confront somebody, an ex. You have things that have been revealed to you about a relationship partner, and you're not really sure. It's almost like you have all these questions, but you're very proud. You don't want to ask them. And so while you're sitting there speculating, I wonder if he or she did this. I wonder if he or she did that. I wonder, who it was with. I wonder if they ever, All of these things are kind of circling around you. And I feel like one of the things that you need to be kind of mindful about is the situation is exactly as it is. What you see is what you get, because this is like the most straightforward message that you're going to get. We have here the Knight of Swords. This is somebody that is coming in to deliver the truth. They're going to tell you it is what it is. And you might have been dealing with somebody that is lacking in self-love. And because they come into the relationship very empty like this, they're not going to be capable of, devoting their love to you. They don't really have anything on the table to offer. And so their love is a little bit tainted. It's a little bit empty, and it can leave your life very empty as well. I'm also feeling for many of you who are dealing with an air sign. So this is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. This is somebody who's very, very, very honest, very truthful, very faithful. And I also feel some of you are questioning as well. You're either questioning, am I in love with this person? Because I don't feel they're questioning that about you. I feel like they're going to be there and they're coming into the picture to have a conversation with you. But you're doubting, am I still in love? Am I going to stay here? Is this all there is to this relationship? Is it going stale? Can we still fix things, and can we still be together? What is the relationship going to look like, 5 years from now? I feel like there's some